Welcome to Straightforward Conversation with Gary Hunter. My guest today is Sandra Vaughn, Director of Prevention Services at the Athens County Children's Services. Sandra is a licensed social worker and a certified legal assistant. She has worked in the juvenile justice system for over 29 years, and while serving in that program as a court administrator and director of diversion programs. Her current work includes the development and supervision of Athens County Children's Services prevention services. These prevention services include a voluntary, family-centered primary program for new birth parents. In addition to development prevention services, she coordinates and facilitates parenting groups. Today's topic is Athens County Children's Services prevention programs. Welcome, Sandra.
Thanks.
That title was quite a mouthful.
Yes, that is a mouthful, isn't it?
Let's just start off tonight's conversation by telling me just exactly what the Prevention Services Unit is and when was it created in the Athens County Children's Services Bureau?
Our Prevention Services Unit was created in 1992, in February of 1992. And it was Athens County Children's Services' response to the community in an attempt to more holistically serve the Athens County community for the tremendous support that we've gotten from them throughout the years. We're very heavily funded through our levies, and I think our agency is seen and should be seen as the agency that is mandated to protect children. But our board, and I think under the direction of our executive director, Max Busey, we have a lot of new and innovative programs that is very unusual for a county this size. And needless to say, the Prevention Unit is one of the newest of those innovative programs, and it's very exciting to be a part of that.
Well, why don't you tell me a little bit, for our audience here that may or may not know, just exactly what is the Children's Services?
Well, it's the Public Children's Service Agency. It is the agency that's mandated by law to protect children. And we like to think that we do that while preserving families whenever possible. And so if there is a referral of child abuse, neglect, or dependency, we're the agency that referral would come to.
And you receive funding from public funds, right?
Yes, yes, public funds.
And is there a board that oversees?
Yes, yes, there's a 10-member board.
And they're elected?
No, they are not. They're appointed by the Athens County Commissioners.
Okay. What is the mission of the Prevention Services Unit?
Well, our mission is to create programs that create an environment that supports the holistic development of children and families. And that's on a primary prevention level, to give services before there's a crisis, to especially look at new birth parents. I think most of us who have parented recognize that children don't come with these little instruction manuals, and many of us have surprises coming as a result of being new parents.
Found that out about 18 years ago.
Yes, yes, I can appreciate that myself.
You used the term holistic. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I think some people look at that now and say, well, you know, I'm hearing that. You hear it in medicine and you hear it in other areas. To encompass a broader segment of the community. I think that perhaps sometimes we are perceived as only working with families who are in crisis. But I think our parenting programs are a perfect example of more holistically serving the community, because they're open to the public, they're free of charge, and if you want to hone your parenting skills, or if you want to learn what's being presented, what's new and innovative, you can become a part of our parenting groups.
So the Prevention Services really is an effort to attack an issue before it becomes a problem,
that's
rather
exactly
than
right.
address a problem after it is a problem.
Perfect. Yes, that's exactly what it is.
I know you have some, you told me earlier you have some public awareness and educational roles that you play.
Right.
What are you doing in this area right now?
We've greatly expanded now. I think one of, well, actually two of the major things we do in public awareness. One is our Celebrating Families. We've actually had some coverage from this channel on that event, and we do it every year. Just finished it. In fact, it's held on the first Saturday in November. And it came about as a result of recognition of National Children's Day. But because of all the many events that we have going on in Athens proper and Athens County during that period of time,
November?
we moved, no, it was
First
October, and we moved to November this year thinking we were going to avoid all of those events. However,
Kind of close to Halloween, weren't you?
well, we did, yes, we did run into the Halloween celebration, but I think we had a different population at our event. But the purpose of that event is to invite all the Health and Human Services agencies out to the mall. What they do is they have an activity table where they have an activity that encourages parent-child interaction, and to also give the participants the opportunity to talk to them about the services they offer, etc. We had some exciting things this year. We had about 30 agencies who were there and a number of activities that were going on. You could go from booth to booth and participate in any number of activities. And then some of our highlighted features were, of course, Columbus Zoo Exotic Animal, which always gets wonderful reviews, because many of the families in southeastern Ohio, it's difficult to get to the zoo. And it's also an opportunity to do some hands-on. You can touch some of the animals they bring.
Actually, some animals are brought down to Athens?
Yes, yes. We had River Valley Skippers this year, which is a jump rope group, which is so exciting to watch these young people do all these maneuvers, jumping rope, and we do the Mark Wood Fun Show. And then our grand finale is usually our hula hoop contest, which is all ages. And so, but
they still make hula hoops.
they still make them, yes. I have to admit, I never have really accomplished the hula hoop, but some people really do a great job with it. But it's a wonderful family experience because it's free for families. It's an opportunity to gather information. Maybe you're interested in immunizations and when they're given. The Dental Hygienists Association is there, Oblenus Hospital, mental health, our agency, My Sister's Place, all of the agencies that serve families in this county come out to celebrate children and families.
How many years have you been doing this program?
We've done it 4 years now.
This is in collaboration with all these other agencies?
Yes, it is. It's definitely a collaborative effort, and I think as we grow and learn, we're recognizing that we do interface, and it's important that we work together. The other thing that we do is in April, during Child Abuse Prevention Month, and we have a Kids and Community Breakfast. And for the past 2 years, we've added a segment to that, which is Kudos for Kids, and that's recognizing area youth who go above and beyond in their everyday duties to do things either for their community or for someone else. And we usually recognize about 6 young people. And that's pretty exciting when we begin to get those referrals in, and it's most difficult for our group that has to make the final decision. But we recognize them at this event, and we also come together to kick off Child Abuse Prevention Month.
How does somebody submit an application to have somebody recognized?
We'll send out, each year we usually send to schools and churches. But if somebody wants on our mailing list to get the nomination form, we'd be more than happy to send it out, especially, we're looking for young people under the age of 18.
And how do you recognize, you just recognize them with a certificate? Or?
We usually have a small gift, and we also recognize them with a certificate, yes.
Very good. Stay tuned. Sandra and I will return after this commercial break, and we'll continue this entertaining conversation. Welcome back to Straightforward Conversation. My guest this evening is Sandra Vaughn, Director of Prevention Services of Athens County Children's Services. Sandra, we, before the break, were discussing some of the events that you're involved with in prevention. I think you told me that even into July you have some events that are going on. What are you doing around July?
Well, we just finished our 3rd year doing the children's game for Fantastic Four celebration, and that's been an interesting experience for all of our staff in terms of developing games that are non-competitive, that encourage parent-child interaction. Everybody wins, and as we put the games together, we were trying to think of things that would be interesting to do. And we've found that some of the most interesting and enjoyable things that families have found, would you believe, the apple bob, that
The old-fashioned apple
The
bob?
old-fashioned apple bob, and we had kids doing it all day. I mean, after we did our lines, our lines.
They actually could nab the apple?
Well, some could and some couldn't.
Oh, that's right.
Some
You said
got really
non-competitive, didn't you?
Non-competitive, right. And the sack race, seeing the kids do that was real interesting. Some of those are really good, and some, like me, would fall after 2 or 3 hops. We have actually, we stole an idea from Girl Scouts, which is what we call our boardwalk. And it's a board about 5 feet long with ropes, and we encourage parents and children, and it takes teamwork to be able to walk, and we have a course that you have to travel, and they really like that game also. Watermelon eating contest, face painting, just a number of activities that go on for about 2.5 hours, and we could have painted faces forever. And when you get requests like Power Ranger and Barney the Dinosaur, it's like it really takes some creativity, you know. Sometimes we can convince them that we can just do the head, you know, those sorts of things. How about a sun? Would you like a sun or a rainbow?
Or a dot.
Or a dot, right. Those games have gotten a wonderful response from parents. They like the non-competitive nature. They like the fact that Athens County Children's Services is promoting these kind of activities, and those things are also important to us. We just have done such a great job with that we were invited to be a part of the Indian Mound Festival to do the children's games. But it's always interesting at Fantastic Fourth because it's usually very hot and very humid. And, well, we do water balloons too, which give us an opportunity to cool down.
When you do this the Fantastic Fourth event, is that down at the Athens County Fairgrounds?
Yes.
And
Yes.
it sounds like you need a lot of volunteers.
We do.
How do you secure volunteers for that?
Well, we are very fortunate to be in Athens, of course, and we have some wonderful work study and OU students who help us, help the prevention team, and then also we'll have staff that will volunteer to come out and work on those days. And actually our executive director has worked for the last couple years, and he's gotten as one of our favorite volunteers, which is his wife, Mary. And we have made her an honorary part of our program because she really is a worker when she comes out.
What kind of a budget do you work with to put this in?
Actually, the Fantastic Fourth Committee will help us with supplies, but we now have built up, we have our own hula hoops now, we've collected a few over the years, we have our own boards, and we have some of our bigger equipment, like the face paint will go over a period of time. But they usually help us with the apples and the watermelons so that it's not a big budget. We probably do that for less than $200.
Are there some sort of prizes or things that go with this?
Yes, we always have little giveaways. Everybody gets something, yes.
I noticed you also told me earlier that you do some in-service training programs. What does that involve?
Absolutely. I think one of the most important things we do is our Speakers Bureau, and that means any group that wants to know about the programs that we offer or even about our agency, how a referral works through the system, what happens, our ongoing services system, our Genesis Group Home, they can call the agency and we'll assign a staff person to come out and meet with them. Some of the training that we do on a regular basis is, of course, you're familiar with the mandated child abuse training that educators and Head Starts are required to do. I think it's 6 hours a year or something like that, and our staff does that. So we have an opportunity here to allow people to learn about our services and to feel, I think, that they are a part of it. They support us as an agency, and I think we historically have not talked about the work that we do enough so that we're relatively unknown in the community. I think perhaps the perception is that, you know, we're the people that step in when people abuse children or neglect children, but our mission is much greater than that, and of course our role is that we would love to work with families voluntarily and before there's any crisis or before there's any problem, and that's what our Good Beginnings program is all about.
The Speakers Bureau, is that just involved with people that actually work for your agency?
Yes, yes.
And how much notice would somebody need if they wanted somebody to come out and speak?
A week would be sufficient. You know, depending on what they want, we might do it in a shorter time, but we would appreciate a week's request notice.
I think you also have a program that you work with in conjunction with the Athens County Court of Common Pleas,
Yes.
the Domestic Relations
Yes,
Court.
that was one of our first prevention programs.
Could you tell me something, tell our audience a little bit something about that program?
Yes. Actually, before I left, it's kind of funny. 2 days before I was leaving the court, Karen Harvey caught me in the hall. And she says, I'm still thinking about this domestic relations clinic. We'd really like to work with Children's Services, and we see this as a prevention program. And it was actually one of the first programs that we developed. We do domestic relations clinic twice a month. It's patterned from the Dr. Gordon Children in the Middle. It's a videotape.
Is this Don Gordon's program?
Yes, yeah, Don Gordon from OU. He developed the curriculum for Children in the Middle. For 2 years, Tom Marks and I facilitated the group. It is for parents of children who are going through divorce, dissolution, or a custody change. That, I believe now, within recent legislation, is now mandated. And
but until recently, it was just a local rule of court that they had.
Right, right. And Karen felt very strongly, and there has been some research done locally that says that it is effective. And I know when Tom and I were doing the group, at times people would come in and they would be very angry about having to be there. And many times by the time they left that evening, they'd say, well, this isn't what I thought it was going to be at all. I think they had in their mind that it was a class, and that we were going to be lecturing, but it's really a discussion group, and we view the videotape and talk about the topics and talk about the relationship and its effects on children.
What are you trying to have the parents get out of the program?
Heighten their awareness on the effects that it has on children, because children don't divorce their parents. And they're always going to be a part of that parent's life, regardless of what the circumstances are. To help them begin to focus again on what the child might be going through with this. I think that anytime you have a life experience like a divorce, we tend to really personalize it, internalize it, and sometimes we forget that our kids maybe are going through the same thing that we're going through, but they still have good feelings about the other parent, unless there's been some major issue with that other parent. And
do the parents come together? They come
sometimes. I would say probably 75% do not, but there are parents who have been able to come together, and that's always encouraging when that happens, because I think then other people who are in the group can look at them and say, well, these people are working through this, and even though their lives aren't going to be together from now on, they're managing to maintain some sort of a relationship for the benefit of their kids.
You talk about things like communication problems, stress problems upon children.
Absolutely. Financial things. Actually, Dr. Gordon's program has 4 areas, and those are the 4 areas that usually arise, areas of dispute. And one is about money. One is about visitation time, my time, your time, very rigid, we go by the court order thing. I think one area that is very touchy, and some people can't even imagine that they're going to have another partner in their life at some point.
Right. And
things may go really well, and when that new partner enters the picture, we as parents react differently. On one hand, you want this person to be good to your child, and you want your child to be able to have a relationship with them. But as a parent, it's also a little frightening that this parent might be trying to take your role in their life, so that gets a little bit scary. So we talk about those issues that might come up, and to ask them to look at this situation through the eyes of their children.
I think that's probably the most important thing.
Yes, yes.
That's very interesting. Stay tuned. Sandra and I will return after this commercial break. When we do, we're going to talk about one more exciting program that they have going at the Athens County Children's Services. Welcome back to Straightforward Conversation. My guest this evening is Sandra Vaughn, Director of Prevention Services at the Athens County Children's Services. Sandra, in the little bit of time that we have left this evening, I want you to talk about 2 more programs. I'm just going to give you the 2 programs and then let you talk about them.
Fine.
First one is the Parent Visitors Program that we talked a little bit about, and the other one is the Good Beginnings Program. What are those programs and how?
Well, I brought with me this evening, Gary, this little packet, and this is part of our Good Beginnings, our parent visitor program. And this is delivered to every new birth parent who gives birth at O'Bleness Memorial Hospital. Contains a wide variety of information from a number of agencies in Athens County. It's the OU Immunization Clinic, it's the WIC information, it's Head Start information, in addition to the services that we offered, and included in the packet is this parent handbook, which we developed in cooperation with the League Against Child Abuse and the Children's Trust Fund. It's gotten a very positive response from our folks. We do a follow-up survey to see how parents felt about having us visit and about the information contained in the packet.
Did somebody from your agency actually delivers this packet?
Yes, yes. We go with our balloon. We look like the welcome wagon, and we do have boy balloons too. I just happened to have a girl one with me this evening. Yes, Kristen Myers, our prevention assistant, we go every day. We call to see if there are new babies born, and we go every day. And then we feel very fortunate to have a medical student who does our weekend. She's a volunteer, and she does our weekend visitation. So again, that shows the community collaboration and what we're trying to achieve here. Again, this is our way of saying congratulations on the new baby. We want you to know the services that are available in the community. Feel free to call us if you'd like additional information. We want to be available and responsive to new parents. A part of this program going into the Good Beginnings program is the postpartum home visitation that we offer. Short stays in the hospital. Parents sometimes get home, they're bombarded with information during the period that they're in the hospital. And so the nursing visit is an opportunity then to kind of, when you're home, relax, but oh, why is my baby doing this? Why do I feel this way? And that's an opportunity for parents to really evaluate their situation.
Good Beginnings.
Good Beginnings, very quickly. It's a home mentor program. And we have a staff person who works with young first-time parents who are in need of additional resources. We will stay with that family up to 3 years, or when the baby enters Head Start. And the visits will range from weekly to twice a week to every other week or once a month, depending on the needs of the family. We feel very excited that we can offer a program like that. It is funded through a Resource Center grant that the funding came through the Family and Children First Council, which is to ensure that collaboration happens in the community. And we're about a year into that program, and we have about 15 participating moms. The reason we looked, I say moms and some dads, which is exciting. And the reason we looked at first-time parents is because they're excited about a new baby, they haven't developed negative patterns of parenting, and we're finding that they have some amazing skills.
Well, Sandra, this has been an interesting conversation. I'm going to have you back because I feel like you could go on for another half an hour on this topic. This has been straightforward conversation with Gary Hunter, and my guest this evening has been Sandra Vaughn, Director of Prevention Services of the Athens County Children's Services. Good evening.